So we need to prepare mentally for football, sport, even life. You have to prepare mentally. Every day you get up in the morning, there's a challenge throughout the day. Some days you have a good day, everything goes well. Some days things don't go well. Email comes through, the phone goes, things in the post. You need to be in the right state of mind mentally, not just for sport but for life as well. And these skills you don't get taught, generally speaking, in schools. At least when I was in school, never taught us these sort of skills. You have to learn for yourself. When you learn, they help you get through and navigate this sort of game of life as well as sport. I'm going to focus on sport obviously tonight. You guys are in football. So the way I've done it tonight is informal. I'm going to sort of take things out of one of the books. I've written many books. This book here was related to sport, preparing mentally. I'm going to take aspects of the book and talk about how you can prepare mentally. I've also got some key fundamentals to prepare yourself. So I'm going to convey information to you to help you prepare yourself mentally for a game of football, but also you can take those elements out and transfer them to life in general and schools as well. So you guys are going to school, to college. It's important that you apply yourself in every area of life. Really important you apply yourself in school and college, because what you do there spills in other areas of your life. There's only so many people who can make it in the world of football. There's only a few places in this game. So it's really important that you realise that sometimes it's not about ability. Sometimes it's about being right place, right time, preparing, the right position for the right team. There's many factors that involve being and playing at football. I've been in the game for a long time now, at professional level. I've been studying sports science, psychology for many years, many modalities over many years. My career spans probably 23, 24 years now, working across a broad range of teams as a consultant, in and out of football, in and out of sports, studying and so on and so forth. So I've decided I'll take some things out of ideas from here, from the book and other areas, and hopefully you can take something out of it. Because sometimes someone says something to you, it sparks, it ignites something in your mind, and that's the key. For me, throughout my life and my career, I don't want to sort of go on about how I've got to where I was and what I do, because it's not an exciting story, but there's been key people along the way who've been there, who sort of shone a light on going forward. And for me, throughout my own career, in what I do now, one of the first people I came across at Loughborough University, I was studying sports performance conditioning in the United Kingdom, and there was a famous coach who was one of the UK's leading coaches in conditioning coaching, and he was lecturing the class, and I lacked a lot of confidence academically. I wasn't great academically. I failed miserably in school, and I regretted it, because when I started that course at the University of Loughborough, sports performance conditioning, I was talking to George Gundy, world famous coach. He'd coached the likes of Seb Cole, one of Britain's most decorated Olympians, and 80 Olympic athletes competed at the Olympic Games. And I told George, I said, you know what, I don't have the confidence to do this course. He goes, why is that? Because he gave me some words to learn. I didn't know what they were, and I struggled. And back in the day, they had computers, not like they got now. We didn't have them as students, but they had one computer, big computer. I'd never been on that before. The only computers I knew were like in television, which is probably before your time, and computer games. And he sort of logged it on, and I didn't know anything about it. I was frightened. And the truth be told, I didn't even know how to do the alphabet properly. My grammar was really poor, because I didn't apply myself in school for various reasons, growing up, which I won't go into. But then I realised that I've got to dig in, and he gave me some words of encouragement, and I sort of really focused. I got through that program. Whilst I got through that program, I was also working with the conditioning coach of Crystal Palace, Dave Richardson at the time in London. I'd commute from Loughborough to London. It was a long commute, and to do the course and go back to London. And while Dave was working with Palace, I was like his right-hand man. I'd sit with him, design programs with him, and he'd give me players to take under my wing. So I took players like Carlo Nash, who'd been released from Clitheroe. He'd been released from, I can't remember who got released from, but he was at Clitheroe in a non-league. and he got picked up by Palace. And I took him under my wing, and we'd do conditioning training, and I started building a name for myself. And myself, I'm quite an introverted character. I'm not out there, but I live in this extroverted world. I'm happy to do research, but I do presentations around the world and travel a lot. I've got to push myself to do that. But the point being is that I took Carlo under my wing, worked with him, and then other Premiership players came by, worked with them, and I was really working close with Richardson at the time. And that was pretty much how I made my name myself in the game. I had ability to play, but I had to make a decision. I come from a lot of injuries and ailments and that sort of stuff, and I had to decide then, what do I do? So I thought my best bet is to focus on the coaching element, and that's where the story begins for me, and the academic story sort of stems back from them. And I've been very lucky to study at some of the prestigious universities in the world, and education establishments in the world, not only the UK. I still study now, study in the USA as well. So I still study now. People say, why do you still study now? My goals are different now. I've sort of gone towards neuroscience now. I've come away from psychology and other modalities. Not completely, I still work heavily in sport, taking a new role in sport and on the radio, as you'll probably hear tomorrow night, if you guys are around, 6 till 7, I'll give it a plug, 94.4 FM. And I'll do the football show. But my goals now are moving towards neuroscience and mental health, studying neurological conditions, developmental disorders. I want to contribute to the literature, hence I've gone back into research and learning at the most prestigious university in the world for that. And that's quite amazing for me, because I think back in my own career where I was. So I say that not to blow on and brag, I say it to show you that there's possibility. It might not work out the way you want to work out, but there's always a chance. Hang in there. And from my own career, I've worked with many teams and consulted many organisations. I've sort of learnt off many, many people. I'm going to share that this evening with you. Some experiences I've had to share with you that can generate ideas. Hopefully you take one idea away and you think, you know what, that makes sense, and that grows like a seed in the ground, and bang, one day, 20, 30 years goes by, you look back and say, you know what, it's been a really turning point for me. Like many players have, and some of the players I work with, they're playing at the highest level, some of them aren't, some are playing at the best level they can play. So whether they end up playing in a scholarship in America, and they go visit them in America and do some coaching for them, because they work at the university, they've got a family, they're settled, things are good for them, that's success for me. Not just to be a top player. I work with players I don't call successful playing at the highest level, because they could have done better if their head was in the right place. Success is being the best you can be. That's all that matters. Just be the best you can be. Maybe you'll get to the Premier League, maybe you won't. The chances are you'll find your level. And that's success. You can look at yourself in the mirror in the morning and say, I give it everything I could. I couldn't have given it any more. That's where you've got to be as a performer. So I'll share with you some ideas. The first thing is, really important, don't let your setbacks define you. Okay, you get released by a club, someone says you're not good enough, don't let that define you. Okay, don't hang on to that. There were times in my life, teachers said you couldn't do this, trainers said you couldn't do that, people said you couldn't do the other. You don't let it define you. When I first wanted to go into radio, the training course I did, at the end of the course, the trainer said to me, I don't think you're going to do radio. And I said, why do you think I won't do it? Because you don't speak articulate enough. I was really surprised someone could say that, but I didn't let that define me. I found a way. And I was lucky because I found, and I got in touch with a great guy, you probably know in the media in Australia, and the Pascalides. He helped me a lot, and I credit people who've helped me a lot, because he gave me a slot on his sports show. He gave me confidence. You probably heard the show, the sports show. And it gave me confidence to bounce back and get involved in different radios here in the UK, like the Beeb and other stuff, and now I've got my own show. We're doing well. And I mention that because people believe in you on the way. Sometimes you find people who believe in you, but don't let your setbacks define you. How I've given up then, I wouldn't have did it. Okay, when I read a book, people say, I've read many books now, you're not going to be able to do that, but I've got publisher. So you force yourself, you push yourself, and I don't say that to blow on because I'm relatively quiet. I don't sort of say much. If you know me, you know. I just say it to give you a bit of confidence that you're going to get written off by people sometimes. It's just the way it is. But don't get defined by that. Okay? What do you do is set goals. Who sets goals in the rooms? Anyone set goals? Okay, great. Make sure you set goals. I know you've heard it 100 times before, you hear it 100 times again. Why you got to set goals? Because if you don't set your own goals, you know what happens? You become a part of somebody else's goals. You want to be your own driver of your own bus. You set your own goals. And set your goals high. Don't be scared to set high goals, because you can always scale back. You can always pull back, you know. There's nothing worse than being in the comfort zone and setting a low goal, achieving it, and celebrating, because you just better to lose sometimes. See, if you go to school, you don't get taught that losing is a fundamental part of life. I've been to schools and done talks in schools, and some schools say that everybody wins. They give you a certificate like this because you come last. They didn't have that before in school. You come last, you get a certificate. And for me, it's ridiculous, because it undervalues the winner who's worked really hard in an area that they specialise in, and then it makes a fool out of the person who's getting a certificate. Where do we draw the benchmark? You're all good at different things. Some are good at maths, some at English, some at sports. If you're good at something, you should be able to showcase it. That's not preparing you for real life. In real life, you're going to go to the employer, your boss, and they're going to tell you like it is. I've had football managers speak to me in ways you could never imagine. It's just the way it is. It can be cruel sometimes, and I think if you fail, then pick yourself up and go again. That's the key. But you have to be taught in schools young that sometimes you're going to get beat. Sometimes I've been beaten so heavily, it's been a horrible feeling. You go home, you lose. It's a bad feeling. It really is. I don't want someone to give me an award and say, you know what, well done. Thanks for turning up. I don't want that. I'll learn, I'll come back stronger. Grow. So learn and sort of get that out of your head, I think, that it's not okay to lose, everybody's a winner. It's not that. And that's the big thing for me, big principle to succeed. Learn to lose. Okay? Don't let losing get to your heart. Don't let winning get to your head. And that's what I'm going to talk about too. When you set the goals, after you set the goals, you've got to make sure that what's really important when you set goals is that you're going to learn from when you win as well. Okay? Make changes when you win. So when you set your goals, write down specifically what you want. Okay? When you set goals, what you want, and go to the feeling what it's like to achieve it. Okay? Rehearse it mentally. What's it like to achieve my goal? Go to the feeling, the goal, because some people like the idea of the goal. I bet there's people in this room that like the idea of being a professional footballer, walking around, the fast cars, the lifestyle, but they don't want to put the work in. Do not want to put the work in. You have to want to put the work in. You have to want it. In my career in coaching, there's people who want it, like the idea of it. You're not going to make it just by swanning around on talent alone. You have to work hard. Every day you've got to work hard. And you've got to work hard on the person next to you, I'm afraid. That's just the way it is. So set your goals. I'm going to email you stuff on setting goals. And you can set your own goals. It's really important you do that. And I'm going to think about how the opposition sees you. Okay? Think about how the opposition sees you. If I'm playing against you, how do I see you as a performer? And why is that important, do you think? Because how they see you reflects on you. Okay? Really important. Think about how do they see me as a performer. Put yourself in their shoes, because then you realise you could undermine yourself. So the best time to learn for me, when you win. Don't just learn when you lose. When you win is the time to make changes. Because if you died on yesterday, you'll get nowhere. Look at the best teams in the world. They're always improving, always improving. They win the title, they buy new players. They win the title again, they buy new players, they bring new players through. That's when you want to strike, when you win. Don't wait till you get beat and you get caught in that sort of rut and you can't get out of it. Then you're in trouble. So what's really important too is to have role models. I want you to decide on 3 role models tonight. Okay, write them down or make a mental note. 3 role models that you can find that are where you want to be. Can everyone do that? Everyone got 3 role models? Find 3 role models that are where you want to be and get in touch with them. Send them an email, give them a call. You can't get in touch with them, watch what they do, learn from them. Okay, 3 minimum, or as many as you can. Why are role models important? Because that's how we learn. Good role models. Really important you do that. So that's exercise for you. Find role models. As a coach, I have role models. We're some of the best role models you could ever imagine. And I'm not trying to be them. I'm learning from them. Okay? Really important point 2 now. I want you to focus on your best performances. Okay? Think about your best performances. And I want you to analyze your best performances. What did you do when you did things well? Okay? Has everyone got best performances that they've done? Okay? Think about what you did when you played well. Too many teams focus on analysing bad performance. When I went to work in the Premiership Club one time to help them change their season around, I went there and they were focusing on the Monday morning on the losses. I said, don't focus on the losses too much. Focus on what you do when you do it well. Analyse what you do well. Because if you focus too much on the losses, you're just reinforcing the pathways in the brain. I'm not saying don't sort the losses out. I'm not saying don't fix it up. I'm saying that do it strategically. Don't do it in a way where you sort of psych yourself out. So focus on what you do well. And have a greatest hits. Write down all your best moments and have like a greatest hits on what you do really, really well going forward in the game. Really important that you have the greatest hits. You know, how comfortable are you talking about your best games? Are people comfortable to talk about their games? Because I get the idea these days, young people coming through, they're almost too shy or ashamed to, because they think they're bragging. If you go to a coach and he asks you, what do you do well? What are you going to say? Are you going to hide and say, well, I don't know? You have to leave an impression. Okay, not brag and swan around, but be confident in your own ability. I've spoken to players your age, young, a bit older, and I say, what do you do well? They've got no answer. Well, how am I going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself? Because all throughout life I've been told, don't brag, don't say. If I can do a job, I can say I'm going to do a job. Really important, okay? Say what you do well. Say what you do well, and I want you to think about it for a moment. What do you do well as a player? Okay? How would you tell a coach what you do well as a player? Okay, so I want you to tell what you would do as a player well, and focus on that. Okay, write it down, your key points. Left foot, right foot, head the ball. What do you do well? Because that'll give confidence away. And when you walk in the room of a player, when you meet a coach, it's really important you stand up and be counted. In the dressing room, physically, dominate the dressing room. Make sure you impose yourself. They know you're there. Don't sit quietly in the corner so no one notices you. Make sure you go in there and physically you impose yourself. When you walk out of the tunnel, make sure you walk out of the tunnel really focused and make your presence felt. It's really important that you do that. Otherwise, the other team will just think, well, what are these people all about? You've got to really impose yourself. You really do. Really, really impose yourself. And years ago when I was working in League 2 at an FA Cup game, one time we absolutely demolished this team. It was only 1-0 at half time. And we went into and actually they scored 1-0. It was 1-0 at half time. We demolished them. They scored a late equaliser. In the half time, everyone was like down, sad, physiologically looked despondent because we thought, what if they come out and nick the win? I said to the players, when you get up at half time, get up, stand up, and really, really eyeball the other team. Psych them out. And when you're tired and you're running in the game, keep yourself in a position where you intimidate the other team when they think you're not physically tired, And that's the key for me going forward. And years later, I was looking at a player for the other team individually. He says to me, he goes, when they saw our team come out second half, they were worried. They thought, these guys, they've got energy left in the tank. So they're worried about that. And it wasn't good in the sense that for them, because if the other teams think that you don't get worn out, what do they do? So, that's a really important thing. And a couple of things I want to address too, which are key, which I can sort of send you as well, is mentally rehearsal. So I want you to mentally rehearse the game. Now we know the more you sort of practice in your mind, it builds pathways in the brain. Okay? So you visualize the game. Visualize your fixture list. Every game, visualize. And I want you to think about it this way. Watch games and watch players and think about how you play against that player. Okay? Don't just watch games as a fan. Watch them as a competitor. Think about when you watch the game, what would I do against that player? Okay, when you watch the Premiership and you watch big players play, think, how would I play against him? How would I play against her? If you're a female player, what would I do? Would I go in close? Would I, all these things, what would you do as a player? It's so important you do that and go for it mentally. Okay, in the warm-up, when you warm up, really important in the warm-up, you run through the game. Okay, I don't want to see players in my teams in the warm-up talk about TV last night. I don't want them talking about what happened last week. I want them to focus on the game. Focus on the game completely. Okay? And do what's right for you. Okay? Many years ago, someone said to me on radio, my thoughts before the game, the players should belt the anthem out. The national anthem out. And I said, the players want to focus, they don't want to do that, it's okay. What matters is on the field. Because it's not a singing competition. In the end, it's about winning the game. So you do what's right for you. Okay? Really do what's right for you. It's important you do what's right for you. So I want you to practice visualization. And there's a chapter in the book on mental rehearsal. What I want you to do is imagine playing the next game. Okay? Tomorrow you've got a game. I want you to imagine now how you're going to perform in that game. Okay? If you want to close your eyes, you can close your eyes and imagine playing tomorrow's game. I'm going to take you a 5-minute exercise now to imagine tomorrow's game or the games you've got coming up. Okay? How are you going to play? By doing the exercise, you've played the game once before they have, twice before they have. In neuroscience now, we know that pathways fire in the brain. Okay? We know that in the brain, when you visualize, the pathways are firing in the brain. There's electrical activity that's going to the muscles. So practice in your mind, okay? Write the script. What it's going to be like, conditions, who you're playing against, what will I do? Just go over and over and over again. And there's a chapter in the book too that gives you ideas going forward. It's really, really good. A couple of key points before we sort of can open things up. We're going to have a chat and we'll go from there. A really, really key point for me is proximity. Get around people who want the best for you, you want the best for them. Don't be around people who bring you down. Okay, life is hard enough as it is already anyway. There are people out there that don't want us to do well. I don't know why they don't want us to do well. It's just the way they're built. That's their problem, not yours. And they get satisfaction when you don't do well. There are people out there, when you tell them you've lost a game, they're going to tell you in front of you, that's a shame, but they're going to go behind closed doors and celebrate because you've got beat. Watch out for those people, because those people will take you down fast. Faster than you can imagine. When you win, they'll say congratulations, because they want to be around you, because you're the footballer, and be around the footballer. But the reality is when you're in trouble, you're injured, you're ill, you lose form, they're gone for dust. Watch those people, not just in sport, in life in general. Because I've seen them for a long time. I've worked in football for many years in sport, and I've seen how quickly they can sort of demolish people, their energy. And it's not good for them anyway, not good for them to be around you anyway, because they need to sort themselves out. Not good, okay? Because you're a team, we're competing against each other for places, but we can all support each other as well and want the best for each other. Okay, if you make it and I don't make it, then good for you. I'm happy for you, and I'm pleased that you've got to where you want to get to. I'll do the best to get where I can get to. You need to live and die as a team. Can't do it on your own. It's tough. Okay? So that's really important for me. Get around the good people that you need. And also think about recharging the batteries too. Take time for yourself as well, away from the game. Really important you take time away from the game, because if you sort of stay too much in the game, then you get burnt out, you get worn out. And have a winning mentality. Okay, what do I mean by winning mentality? It's not being the victim. Okay, don't blame anybody else and moan about the referees and moan about the coaches and moan about the other team. We all have bad luck in life. Bounce back fast. Okay, sometimes you need to have a cry of soul, get it out of your system straight away, and then move on. Okay, there's no point, being resentful and bitter about things. Just move on. Go forward. Okay, I've had people say to me, I had a coach one time before an FA Cup tie we had against the Premier League team, was in League Two. He phoned me up the night before and he says, I can't believe all our players are injured and we got, there's been suspensions and we're not going to be able to put our strongest team out. We're going to miss out this great opportunity. It was a League Cup, sorry. And I said to him, call me back in an hour. He says, why? It's midnight, an hour you'll be asleep. I said, no, I'll wake up for the call. And he called me back and he changed the tune then. He says, how exciting is it to play against a Premier League club? We're young players, nothing to lose. We're going to go out and enjoy ourselves. See the difference between winning and mentality, losing mentality? So grade yourself every game out of 10. How well you've played, and decide where you want to be and decide where you need to improve. I want now to think about things where you need to improve. Left foot, right foot, heading the ball. Write down areas you need to improve and be honest with yourself. Do a performance profile. Tactically, technically, physically, psychologically. Grade yourself where you are and where you need to be. Fitness testing. Grade yourself where the professionals are, where you are in fitness testing. In the VO2 max, in speed, agility, all the fitness tests. Make sure you're at least as fit as the players you want to emulate. And then learn technically, and psychologically work on yourself as well. And then if you can do all that, you've got a chance. If you're not ready physically, you've got no chance. Because the game predominantly is only played very minimally with the ball. Most of the game is played without the ball. On average, your contact on the ball is 2 or 3 minutes. Most of it's movement, awareness. Watch the game. When you watch the games tomorrow, when you watch the game, watch the movement in the game. Watch players move. Study the game. What to do without the ball. Not when they're on the ball. Without the ball is key. Okay, watch the game and learn, and you'll see the little things that happen. And you can see, if I go watch a game, I went to watch a game the other night, I could see 5 to 10 minutes before what was going to happen. You can read it straight away. But you're thinking the point of view, you can see it, the patterns emerging. Because players will like that, work you out. Okay, they'll work you out straight away, and you're in trouble once they've worked out where you are. That's the key. Just be sharp. Work out weaknesses. Make sure you work out your own weaknesses, improve them. Make sure what's really important too, you find a way to get yourself in the zone. So think about your best performance you've had ever. When you think about the best performance you've had ever, remember what you did then, what it felt like and what you did. Go into the zone. Okay, and you'll see there's some videos on YouTube. I do work on cues, the cue could be flicking the wristband, attaching it to the emotion, or tapping the foot before a free kick to switch back on again. Because you get a bad decision, you're moaning about the last decision, and then all of a sudden you get another chance and you miss it. You're still thinking about yesterday, about the last phase. Always think in the moment in the game, and think 20, 30 shots ahead like a snooker player in the game, what you're going to do. Be a tactical person. Okay, these players that are tactical are the best ones in the world. You see these players, they're tacticians. They think. Be a thinking person in the game. That's key. So what I want to do as well, I'm going to send you a performance profile. Profile your game, grade your game, reflect on your game and on training. What you did well, what you need to improve, go to the next level. And then you'll accelerate your own ability. These are key fundamentals, okay? There's a lot to take on in a short space of time. You can watch this again. Obviously, you guys have done really, really well, considering you've travelled a long way, probably jet lagged, and you've been doing a lot of movement. You've done well, okay? To take some things on board. That's why I'm going to email you stuff. You've got the stream there, you can go back over it. I'll email you some content that's going to help you on your journey to hopefully where you want to go. But equally not just where you want to go in football, I hope that you can take some of this stuff and use it in other areas too, for exams, in school, and you do other sports too, just generally to build your own confidence as a person. Because I think for me, the way I see it, I think that as an adult we have a responsibility for you young people to shine the torch, in the sense that we've got the experience as a sports person in an area counts a long way, and we can share experiences to help you along the way. I see a lot of people in the media these days, they moan about young people, and this, my young people this, that and the other. We don't want polarization. There's no need for that. There's enough as is already anyway. Most young people are good, they've got a good heart. The issue is, I think for me, the generational thing, you probably have it easier in some respects. But teachers keep telling me that you've got pressure. Young people have got pressure. Okay? And it's true, you've got pressure, but it's no more than what I had, but different pressure. The pressure you've got is different to my pressure, different to the pressure that your parents had, your grandparents had, the great-grandparents had. There's no young person in this room that's fought on the front line, okay, like people did and used to do your age, generations ago. There's no young people in this room who experienced what their parents and grandparents had to experience, in the sense that my parents, maybe some of your grandparents, or even parents had to move, a couple of ethnic background too, they had to leave everything behind to go to a new country, no family, no friends, tough working class job, hours a day, not easy. That's pressure too. Don't get told by these people telling you that you've got this pressure, because it undermines you. You can handle it, okay? You can handle it. Your pressure is different. It's more like social media, what people say, what they do. That's a different pressure, but not the pressure where you go to sleep hungry. Not the pressure like me, when I was 15, I had to go to work in factory to help support the family. That was different pressure. Then you start hanging around, idiots who didn't want the best for me, and I broke away, and I had some great friends growing up, and learned from them. But the point being is that I decided in the end to just retrain and relearn myself. So, there's different types of pressure, but I don't like the idea of people telling you all the time, because it undermines you. You're tougher than you think. Okay? The parents have done the best for you. As a parent too, I do the best I can. With my kids, sometimes you could argue a little bit too soft, but that's only because I don't want to go through the hardships, and that's normal. But what happens in the end, as a result, that's where sometimes the issues lie. Because if you do things for people they can do for themselves, what happens is they don't learn. So you get the balance. If you do things for people, then they're never going to learn. There's got to be a fine line. So as a teacher, when I lecture, I make sure my students, you can do it, you do it. I'm not doing it for you. Because then if I do it for you, when it hit the big wide world, you can't do it. As a coach, I push my players to learn. People with learning, when I worked in areas, environments where they had learning challenges because they hadn't development disorder, I would push them to learn, to go for the highest grades. And they used to say, you're mad, why are you doing that for? It's because they can do it. They can be the best they can be. And I encourage you to step up, young people. And if you find someone who's struggling, then help them along the way. Push them along the way. Okay, there's no need to put people down on social media. There's no need to bully people. If you see someone bullying, then put an end to it. It's not good for anybody or for you. Very important things. Okay, but I don't want to hear that the young people these days, the pressure, because the pressure is different. It's no more, no less. And we've got to work out what it is and how you can move forward. Because a lot of young people now that, generally speaking, they focus too much on video game, on social media, which is okay. I keep in touch with my family on social media. I do the stream, do a lot of good things, but limit my time. Because you lose your social skills. Okay, you lose the social skill and it's no good. Because sometimes, you know what, you go order a cup of coffee and they don't even speak. It's like, the generation, they haven't got the confidence to say anything back. There's no thank you, there's no gratitude. This has gone away. This has an entitlement. Okay? When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you want to do is be grateful that you're alive and you're well and your family's there. If people wake up in the morning in battle zone, in combat, and they don't have what we have. So we need to be grateful, and that's a good place to start. You live in the dream, you're touring, you're playing against top teams, It's a great opportunity people may never have. Seize the moment. You might not see it now, but in 20 years you'll think, you know what, irrespective of what materializes for you, what a great opportunity. You can only dream of these things. As a person your age, I could only dream of doing these things. How I eventually did it, for me, would be working in factory, learning and saving up enough money to do it. That was the only way to do it. Work hard. Get away from people who sort of were bad and sort of get focused. And that's the sort of key. And I sort of bring that up, it's going off piece a little bit, because I believe in you as young people. I think that, you've got the ability going forward. And for me, I don't like the idea of this polarization. People putting young people down, saying they're too this, they're too that. Well, show the damn way, if that's the case. And that's the only way we can do it going forward. In relation to football, I wish you the best for the tour. It's a great opportunity. Get up tomorrow morning and have your breakfast, do your mental skills, get ready mentally, and go out there when you play and leave nothing in the damn tank. Leave nothing. And make no excuses, have no regrets. Go out there, respect the opposition, irrespective of who you play, because they're there. Okay, if they don't respect you as much as they should do, then underestimate you. I love being underestimated. It's fantastic, because it gives me a big chance to hit hard and catch them off guard. From the first minute tomorrow, you go out there and give everything you've got, the first second. Every moment, every tackle, every pass, every shot, make it count, everything. Everything matters. Every movement of the ball, pass, move, make space, get into good areas. Okay, leave nothing in the tank. Come off the field exhausted and sit down, have your energy drink, eat your carbohydrate to bring the stores back up again and protein, have a rest, evaluate your performance, sit back down in the evening, talk to your coaches, and then go again the next day. And that's the way you're going to improve and go forward and be the best you can be. So, got the stream, you can watch over it again. I'm going to open up for some questions outside the stream shortly, yeah.